Okay, so my video cut off, and there was something about magic that I think uh, is worth mentioning. It seems to have a big connection to like obsessive, compulsive personalities. Um, and of course, this could be used against it by people who may want to criticize the occult. That, you can say, well, all these things have a slightly unhealthy aspect to them. But I would say they are the way of the way to deal with these traits. Like if you have a kind of personality that is very paranoid and that is constantly sort of making connections between things and taking things very seriously, maybe you're very superstitious in that obsessive way, where if you find that you have symptoms of some disease, then maybe you will start shaking and your body will believe yourself. You're very suggestible to yourself. All these things. Someone may say, well, a person like that should not get involved with the occult and these kind of things because it'll just make the problem worse. But I would say it's the other way around, and I don't think it's a question of, you don't even need to call it the occult or magic or anything. I think that anyone who has an obsessive type personality, who somehow gets better or finds ways to heal and deal with these things, I think will, maybe without calling it magic, they will be using something similar to magical techniques. Because basically, it's like, again, it's just like psychoanalysis in some aspect, that it's using art and artistic expression. And that's why there is so much sort of poetic language, I think, in the occult, is that you're using art to drive that obsession outwards. It's as if it's some sort of creative energy that's wanting to come out. And when it's locked up inside, it makes you obsessive because you're too stressed out with thoughts. And it's precisely letting them out that makes you relax. But in order to let them out, you need to somehow tread the path of poetry and art and philosophy and psychology. And eventually, these things end up being anti-cultural or somehow occult-ish, because they are not really, again, they're not things that culture really acknowledges. Culture doesn't acknowledge art as some sort of basic function. It considers it some sort of strange entertainment that some people make, but it doesn't consider it as important as any other of our functions, like eating or whatever. So in a sense, I think someone who is trapped in some sort of psychological turmoil usually gets out by using art as if it were a biological function. That seems to be a common way of getting yourself out. And once you've done that, you've already entered into a world of art that is different from what is usually accepted. So that there is an element of magic that is very connected to psychological trouble, precisely because it's like a representation of the desire to deal with it, so to speak. Anyway.